Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the part 4 of my DevOps Bootcamp series. In today's video, we will explore GitHub, a source control management tool essential for DevOps. If you are new to GitHub or want to get started, this video is for you. We will cover everything from setting up a GitHub account to understand how it plays a critical role in DevOps. The agenda for today's video is we'll learn what is GitHub, what is Git, what all GitHub plans and options we have, and we will create a small repository to start with. So let's start by looking at the DevOps periodic table. So this particular diagram is from XBR Labs, which provides you all the tools which are required for any software development lifecycle from starting with the planning phase till the monitoring of your application. In this particular video, we will talk about source control management. So source control management is a very critical category which is used to manage all your source code for all of your application. And here you can see we have lot of tools which are available for source control management, and GitHub is one of the most widely used source control management platform. So in this particular video, we will talk about GitHub. So let's talk what is GitHub. So if you do little bit of GitHub documentation, there is a documentation about GitHub and get started, and it will just provide you about GitHub and Git. So what exactly is GitHub is? It is a cloud based platform where you can actually store and share and collaborate your code with other team members. It is not just place to put your code actually. It's enable collaboration, version control, and seamless integration with other tools also that we will see in the upcoming videos. And what is Git? So to understand GitHub, it is also important to understand Git, which is a version control system that helps track changes made to files, making it easier to collaborate on the same project without overwriting each other's work. So Git enables you to keep track of your versions and revision, and ensures everyone is working with most up to date files. The second part, the GitHub plans. So GitHub provides you lot of options to start with. One which is GitHub free for your personal accounts, which gives you the features which are good for a small team and for your individual projects or creating any demo projects. It provides you a basic features like all of these things which are sufficient for any individual to create their demo projects or anything. And other than that, it provides you a lot of other plans like GitHub Pro, GitHub Free, GitHub Team. Lot of options are there, so you can actually select it based on your application requirements. Most of the big companies uses GitHub Enterprise. So GitHub Enterprise also comes with two options. One is cloud, which is like software as a service, where they will just give you the link and you are just using it. You are not worrying about the infrastructure. That is what software as a service means. So in that, so a lot of people uses that also, but some people have concerns with the code and their security of the code because it is going to some other systems. So although GitHub provides all the security, but still it is not on their infrastructure, it is not on their data center. So some people prefer to use self-hosted, which means they maintain the underlying infrastructure where this particular application is running. So both options are there. Based on the requirements, people choose one of them. So to start with GitHub, you can just sign up. So if it is like a simple account that you can just create it. You can just go to github.com, click sign up, and just follow the prompts. It will create a personal account for you, and you are ready to go. There is nothing else you have to do after that. So now let's just go to github.com. So as soon as I go there, I will see my page if I'm already signed up. And here you will see the dashboard of your particular account where you can see all the details of all your repositories and the settings and everything. So to start with, just give you a little bit of details. Here you will see your profile details and everything. And the important part is settings. This is like a global level configurations that you can do it at your account. In this particular, we might use this SSH keys later on, but not at this point of time. And it has all the other details like organization setup, password authentication, billing, and plans. So this is like a normal account setup details here. So now just go to home. Okay. So on this page, you will see the overview where you will see all your repositories. And then there is a section called repositories, which means you create a repo to store the code. And this is the one thing which is very important in GitHub. So that is where you actually store all your code. So if I click on repositories, you will see all of the one which I have created, and you will have an option to create a new repo also. So, and repo means that contains all your project files, all the code, anything related to your project will be stored in this particular repository is related to the code. So here you can see that you will provide all these details, and mostly you will see just one owner. But yes, if you have multiple permissions, then you might multiple account permissions, then you might see different options there. So here you can just provide any repo name here. So in this particular example, I'm just creating demo-1, and you can provide the description. And now GitHub provides public and private repo both. Previously, there was only option for GitHub free that you can only create the public repo. What does that mean? Anyone on the internet can see the repositories. So if you have any specific code or anything like that, then it is accessible on public or anybody can use it. The private means it is not accessible by anyone. It is just accessible by you or your teams, whoever you have gave the access. So in this particular example, we will go with the public. And here you can see initialize this repo with. So if I do this initialize this repo with add a readme, it means as soon as I click on create repo, your repo is ready to go. You really don't need to do anything after that. So in this particular example, first we will go with this option, and then later on I will show if you don't select this option, then what you have to do. Add git ignore. So what does that mean? So when we write a code, there are a lot of files that we don't want to commit. Like when you are working on your local machine, it sometimes create a lot of hidden files, and a lot of builds like artifacts when you just just run any command on your local machines, like for the node, all those things. So basically the files which you don't want to commit, you can just put it in the git ignore. And here it will give you the little bit of details also. So like based on the language, you can select it, and after it's created, you can always edit it later also. So in this particular example, like if I just go with Java, just so it will just ignore some files related to the Java which is not required to put it in the put it in the code repo. So just click on create repository. Okay, so now you can see that I have this readme file. This is the project that I have created, and this is the git ignore file. And here you can see what you, because we have selected the Java, so we don't want to put compiled class files like dot class file, dot log files, all these files, package files. We don't want to commit all those things, and we can always edit this file as we go. So this is what this is that is why the dot git ignore is very important, because we don't want to commit unnecessary files into the git repo. Okay, so this is from the GUI perspective, right? If you have to create a new file, you have an option to upload also. or you can just go ahead and create a new files like this and just put this is this is test 1, just an example, and click on commit changes. And here you will see that you will get an option commit message. It's always good that you provide a good commit message. Create new file, or based on the requirement what you are doing, you can just put the commit message. And here you can see commit directly to the main branch, so we'll go with this and commit changes. So here you can see that it has created this file, and our main branch, like our default branch, is main. There you can see that this is default branch. Okay, so this is your repo is set up. Now what next you have to do now what next you have to do? So to push any new code from your local machine, you need this repo clone on your machine, so that if you have hundred of files, you cannot just go there like add file and just put it there. It's not feasible. And also, when you are working as a coder or developers, you need your local, you use some IDE also to write the code, all those stuff. So for that, here you will click on code, and here you can see the clone options: HTTPS, SSH, and GitHub CLI also. In this particular example, we will be using this HTTPS. So here you would just have to copy this and just clone it. Clone means just take the code on your machine. And this is a public repository, so you really don't need to provide any username and password because everybody can access it. But if you are accessing any private repositories, then you need an access token also. We will talk about those when we were working on the private repositories, but for now, we are just working on this. So you can just copy it and go to your machine. Okay, so here you can see that I have this particular. Okay, so now, so this is one of the basic command, git clone. So this is the command, and you just put this repo here. And here you can see that it has cloned this repo on my machine. And if I go to cd demo 1, you can see all the files created. ls to list all the files if you are not aware of that. ls-la will show you all the hidden files also. So you see that whenever all the repositories, every tracking is in this particular folder .git. Whatever you are doing, any changes, it keep track of all those stuff. And this .git ignore that we have created. So this is how you can actually clone any repo on your local machine. Now, so we have learned git clone command. Now let's just run git status command. So here you can see that git status command will give you whatever the status of your command. Right now it says you are on branch main, your branch is up to date, nothing to commit because there is nothing to commit, right? So this is git status. The next command is git log, which will provide you all the commit history. So we have made two changes, right? This was our initial commit when we just created our new repository, and this is when we actually create a new file. So this is what the log will give you: details of your repositories, how many commits happen, and what was the changes into that. So that is the git log. Okay, so now next command. So the next, I really wanted to talk about the concept of branches. So here you can see that I am committing directly to the main branch. Committing directly to the main branch. And we have seen all in my previous video about CI workflow. We don't want to do that because if you commit directly to the main branch, it means nobody has reviewed your code. nothing has run to validate whether your code is successfully compiled or tested or not. So because of that reason, we will never commit to the main branch directly. So for that, there is also enforcement that you can put here. So if we click on the branches, and we'll go with the classic branch protection rule. So that is called branch protection rule, where you can actually protect your most important branch. So in this example, our main branch is main. So we will enforce and protect our main branch so that nobody can directly push to our main branch. And now here you can see that you will see the details, like your GitHub free plan can only enforce rules on its public repositories like this one. If I have a private repositories, then yes, GitHub does not allow me to protect my main branch. And that is the reason people move from GitHub free to GitHub Pro or GitHub team based on their requirement. But for the demo perspective, you can use this. So branch name patterns, you will provide your branch name. And here you can see first on the main branch, what does that mean? Require a pull request before merging. We are just removing this particular part because we don't have any approvers. But this is where you can have all the configuration that before merging, you need to have a pull request. And there are a couple of options that we will talk later, maybe. But for now, just select this part. And that's it, I think. So, and I will show you one more thing, but that's it. And now just go there, and if I try to, and if you have to edit any file, you just click on that file, and there is an option to click on edit, and here you can see commit changes. And now you can see that commit directly to main branch, and you can see here I am saying some rules will be bypassed by committing directly, but still I can do it because I am admin here. And that is the reason I have an option to bypass those settings. So here also you have an option. If you click on settings again and click on branches, click on edit, here you can see there is an option, do not allow bypassing the above settings. So that means now nobody can directly push to the main branch. So I can show you again. If I click on this, click edit, commit changes, and you can see you cannot commit to main branch because it is a protected branch. So this is how you can enforce restriction on your main branch or whichever branch it is. It should not be this main branch. You can have different conditions for different branches based on the requirement, and that's how it protect your main branch. So now the concept of branches, there is as such no I mean, yeah. So now I am a developer and I wanted to create, or I wanted to collaborate on this particular repo. So what is the process for that? So you basically go there, and this is again I'm showing you from here, and we will explore from the Git Basic Commands also. So you can just create a branch like this, feature one, and here also you select from which branch. So sometimes you will see lot of branches are there, but in this particular example we just have this, so you are just creating branch from this. And as soon as you do this part, you will see your feature branch was created from main branch, so it has all the contents, mm, uh, all the contents from the main branch as well. So this is how you can actually create any branch on this repository. And now we are here. So there is another command. Now you can see that there are some changes in this particular main. Let's just do some change. Yeah. Now you can see that we have created new one branch, right? But until you pull, so that is the next command, you will not see that particular new branch is created in your repositories or not. So like if I do git pull, so this is the next command to take all the changes from the repository. So when you do git pull, it fetches and it merge also to your local branch when you just do the git pull. So let me just do the git pull. Yes. So here you can see that this feature branch is here already up to date because we did the git pull and it just fetches all the details from the repository. Now, next part, git checkout. So currently, so okay, so now how you, okay, so now I wanted to make any changes on this particular feature branch. How will I do that? If I do git status here, I'm on branch main, right? So for that, if I have to go to the different branch, you need to do git checkout feature one. So the git checkout is the next another basic git command, git checkout. And now you can see switch to the new branch feature one. And if I do the git status here, you will see on branch feature one. So now just create any file or create a new folder. So you can do it manually or you can do it any however you want to do it. It's just a Unix command. So I'm just creating a new file called vitest.txt. So this is on your Linux. It's a Mac machine. So it is working like this. And just do this. And here, so now you can see that you have one more file created. So file you can create it in any way. If you are using any Visual Studio ID or anything directly um, on your machine, just go there, click right click, create a new file. You can do however you want to do it. So now you see here when I do the git status, it just say your branch is up to date. Let me do the git status now. So now you can see it says untracked file because we have created this new file, so it is not tracked now. So again, this is another command, git add. So git add has a functionality or features. If you do git add dot, it will just add all the files present in this particular folder, and you have an option to just git add the specific file also. So we'll just do git add. As soon as you do the git add, and now let me just do this. And now if I do the git status, now you can see changes to be committed, new file. So you can see that this new file has to be committed now. So we run git add. So now the next step to commit the changes is git commit hyphen m. And this is where you can provide the commit message. And it is very helpful and it is always a best practice to provide the commit message. It helps in the future when there are issues or anything. You can see why this particular commit was made. So added a new file. So here you can see one file changed, but git commit, it is just on your machine right now. It has not gone to the repo. So for that, the next basic command is git push. Okay, so if it is asking, okay, even in the public repositories, you can clone it, but you cannot push it you cannot push to the repositories, otherwise anybody can just go ahead and commit the changes. So I have provided my GitHub account and for the password, so now your normal password will not work like the password that you use to log in, because they have changed and the best practice says, so for that you click on the settings and go to developer settings, and here is a personal access token. So they said that you use the personal access token instead of the password. So generate new token, and this is where you provide uh, you can provide the token name, like I'm providing the demo. You can even set the expiration, or you can set the no expiration also based on the requirement. So and then you can also select the access, like scope of your token. So full control of workflows. So based on the requirement, you really need to understand each of them. If you have to select the fine grained access for your repo. For now I'm just selecting everything, so just select this, or maybe I don't need all those stuff, so just click on generate token. So you will get this token, and this token is just accessible right now, and you have to store it. If you forgot it, then you have to regenerate the token. So now let's just copy it and then just paste it. Okay, so here you can see that I can paste it to my feature branch, and now let's go there and see. Okay. So here you can see that I have created this feature one branch also. And as soon as you push to your branch, you will see this particular option, recent pushes. And this is what it comes under, like pull request, concept of pull request. And there is an option pull request also here also. So you can just click on it and added a file. So and again, this is a best practice that you provide a title for your PR so that in future you can refer it, and we even provide the description what your PR is doing, because many times you have a big change of files. So you always provide the description of your PR, and then here you can see that one file change, and here you can see that what has changed, and click on create pull request. And now here you can see it is saying branch has no conflict. So what does the conflict means? When you are editing the same file on the same line, you might sometimes see the conflicts, and it will show you here that you won't be able to commit directly to your main branch. You have to fix the conflict issues first. We'll talk about those later, but yes, for now it is like this. So here you can see that I have created a PR. But you can see that I can directly just go ahead and click on merge, and it will just go to the main branch. The reason is we have not set up any continuous integration, right? So that is what I was talking about. We have not set up any CI here that actually check any status or anything like that. Currently, you can just merge the pull request, which is not a best practice. And here, so in the next video, we will talk about how to set up our CI and all those stuff. But for now, this is how it looks like. And in the reviewer, like right now, I don't have any team or anything. But when you work on a big organization, you generally have a team. So you can just add your team members, and they will actually get a notification whenever you add them as a reviewer so they can approve it. So that is the concept of PR here, and you can just merge your PR. So let me just merge it. Okay. So, and here you can see that I have merged the changes, but my feature branch is still there. So for that also there is a setting. So if you go to your general setting, at the end you will see automatically delete head branches. That means whenever I'll merge my PR, my feature branch will automatically get deleted, and which is very important, because if we don't do that, after some time you just have a big pile of branches here, because there is no automation deletion of the branches. So it will be here always. So that's the That's a good configuration to actually always set that. Okay, so now you see that we have merged these changes. Now just wanted to show you if you have to ever revert the changes, right? I mean, you merge this particular PR and it breaks something. So how you can revert it? So you can see that you have an option of click revert here. And if you click on revert, you can see that it has this file change and it says that yes, this file was deleted, right? Because this is the new file. So this is how you can actually revert your changes from the console perspective directly from here. And as soon as if I merge it, you will see that my changes are reverted. So you can see that my changes are reverted. In feature branch we have one more test.txt, but here we don't have it. So that is git revert. So the command for that also. So let's just talk about it. So now I'm here. So for here only, like just for, and if you have to revert locally, how can you do that? If you do this git log, so this particular feature branch, we have added this new file. So if I wanted to revert to this particular revision, so just take this revision actually. So if I do this, so let me just do git revert. Okay. So now you can see your branch is ahead, git push. So now I will just do the git push. And again, I have to, and as I told you, I have not saved my token. So it has lost now. So I have to actually generate it again. So if you go there in developer settings, here you can see I have used it. So here you can see last used within the last week, but now I have to just generate the new token. So I'll just put the name demo1 and select all access. Fast. Okay. Okay. So I have pasted, I have pushed my changes. So let's just see it now. Okay. So here you can see that I have reverted the changes. So it has reverted also. So this is how you can actually revert any changes. And just to show the history or anything, you can see that I have made the 4 commits like this, and you will have all the history of all the commits. Like if I go there and then there is an option of browse files, so it will actually take you to the section of that particular repository, of that particular commit history, and provide you what was there at that particular time. So that is what I was saying. Git helps you to track all the versions of your files, who made the changes, when it was made, everything is there. And this is your actually commit where you can see that this was added. So basically this provides you all the details. You can always, you can see that yes, mostly you will see who all has created. So in this particular example, I was the only one, so you'll see just my name multiple times, but that's how you can do it. And one more thing I wanted to show you, sometimes you always have a need to see who has created this particular code. So there is an option called view git blame also. So you will see that who has actually added this particular line in this file also. So all those things is very helpful to troubleshoot and when you really wanted to find who made that particular change. So git blame help is very helpful in that sense. We will see how we can set up the SSH connectivity so that we really don't need to pass the username and password every time when we push any local changes to this repository. So in the previous video, we have cloned the repo using HTTPS. This time we will clone using SSH so that we have SSH connectivity set up once and then we really don't need to pass any username and password. For that, what we have to do? So let me just copy this URL first. And here you can see the HTTPS URL starts with HTTPS and then SSH URL is it in this format. So let me just go and clone. So as we learned git clone command and you can just clone it. You can see that I am able to clone this properly. To make any changes, we will create a new branch and you can create the branch from your local machine also. So you created this branch and then you can do git checkout. So these are also basic commands. Checkout means it will just check out this particular branch. It means you switch to this branch. So now whatever changes you will make, it will go to this branch, and this is to create a new branch. The command is git branch. So you have created this new branch and now let me just create a file there. So I created the empty file, and if I do git status you will see, okay, it was already there. So let me just create the another file, test.txt. Okay, so now if I do the git status, it will on track. We will add it, git commit, and now we will do git push. So first time, so you can see the current branch because this branch we have created from the local machine and not from the GitHub. It means it has no upstream branch. So to push the current branch and set the remote as upstream, you have to use this command. Okay, so here you can see when I try to push it, I get this error permission deny. We have used the SSH key, we have used the SSH URL to clone the repo, right? So it did not ask you the username and password. Instead of that, it is looking for the public key so that it can authenticate. So we have not done that setup. So for that, what you have to do on your local machine, you can just run this command ssh keygen. So what it is doing, it is generating the public and private key pair. And here you will provide the details where you need to save it. We'll just override this. You can passphrase, you can just leave it empty, and that's it. So it has created this file. So now you can do cd slash dot ssh, and here you can see that it has created this cat. This is the public key, so you can get this. So this is the public key that you have to put it in your GitHub account so that whenever you are trying to push it, it will use this private key and checks and it authenticates. That is how the SSH key setup. So let me just copy this, and here you will go to your particular account and there is a SSH and JPG keys, and click on new SSH key and you will just paste it here and you can put any name. So I'm putting Nidhi and just add SSH key. What does that mean? You have authorized your local machine or your local computer to authenticate with this GitHub account using this public key. So now let me just go to my repo, go to my folder. Okay, okay. So now you can see that it worked fine. There was no issue. So it was able to push to the changes. So this is how the SSH connectivity you can set up, so that next time I really don't need to put any username and password. This is just one time setup, and it is also at global level. So you can easily do it. That will just fast your fast your check-in process to the GitHub repo. Thank you. Now, at the end, best practices for the GitHub. Good commit message. So, write clear and descriptive message that explain your changes. Those are very useful in the future. Clean commit history. Avoid unnecessary commits and use Git rebase to organize them. Effective collaboration. Always use pull request for code reviews and change tracking. PR description and title. Use clear titles and detailed description to explain what all your changes is. Protected branch. It is very important to secure your critical branches by enforcing rules like reviews and CI checks that we will explore when we will do the CI part.